Hi guys, it's Joy, and oh my gosh, there is so much to go over in this Onision documentary. If you haven't seen it, go check it out from earlier today. It should be from earlier today. I have a video up already about episode 2 that came out. And if you haven't seen them, I have a whole series right now. I'd started making videos when I just came back. I think I made like 3 on Onision, and I was gonna be done with it. I just wanted to get my piece out on some things I'd seen over the years since I've been gone from everything. And then I heard there was a documentary coming out and it's just changed the game. And I was like, I have a lot to say. So I'm gonna be doing a few videos this week on this because there's just too much for one video. So check it out. I really go over a lot of what the victims have said and what my overall take of the episode 2 is. Also guys, I think I'm releasing it tomorrow. I have a debate with Kai. I debated Guy. This is not a joke. Make sure and go check that out. And as well, I debated Onision. So go check that out. I have a video where I talk about what Shiloh went through, whether or not Shiloh was abusive or was she, the victim, what's going on. So make sure and check out those videos. I'll have links in the description, links up here, and I have a whole playlist you can see with all of those videos. So maybe pause this one and go check those out if you're new to this one. But let's go ahead and talk about Eugenia. So you guys know I have made a few videos on Eugenia since I've been here. The only content I'd ever made before on Eugenia, the only content was about defending her from Onision. That's what's crazy, and I didn't realize she would be making an appearance in this documentary. I'm really glad she did. And I want to tell you guys what my opinions are of what we've seen from Onision and Eugenia. I think Onision is so disingenuous and self-deluded that he doesn't realize how disingenuous and self-deluded he is. He's so full of himself. And I want to say in fairness, I know I make videos lately and I've been highlighting certain things and showcasing concerns. It's one thing to be somebody who really cares about somebody and is concerned for them and their audience, right? Which I think people like me, I've also seen another YouTuber I really like, Sloan. He's done some videos and I've seen some other videos. I've even kind of come to her defense lately because a lot of people have been wanting to kick her off the internet saying she's a bad influence on her audience. And I can see the criticism in that. I go a little bit back and forth with that personally because I think that sets a really bad precedent for everything, but I can understand why people feel that way. So I have actually in many ways been going to bat for her, but I've also been saying, look, I can understand like somebody needs to do something. Her family needs to step up. Something needs to be done because as you guys know, Eugenia denied forever that there was an issue and there was clearly an issue. When I used to defend her, Onision would bully her. He was mean. This wasn't somebody that cared. He got off on bullying her and make money off of it. And then he'd go, oh, I actually care about this person. He was just mean and made fun of her. Which, is not my intention. And like the videos I've seen of like people like Sloan and some of the other ones, a lot of us that have spoken up about being concerned for her and her audience, we're not sitting here and bashing her and making fun of her, but Onision is. So before I go too much into detail, I want to go ahead and play the clip from the documentary. I was so happy when I saw her in this. Let's take a look and then I will kind of tell you guys what I think at the end and give some commentary. Here we go.
It's just this like steady string of toxic behavior.
Eugenia Cooney and I'm doing a cooking show. But first I'm gonna eat something on camera to prove to you guys that I do eat. Here are some cucumbers. Are you ready for me to prove you guys wrong? See, I love food.
He made over 75 videos to date on one specific creator, Eugenia Cooney, and she's been struggling with an eating disorder.
My name's Eugenia. So the kinds of content I create on YouTube, mostly like fashion, beauty stuff. Onision first made a video that was kind of like in support of me, but then super soon after, he made like one video towards me that wasn't exactly very nice, and then from there just kind of kept making more and more.
Of course Eugenia Cooney would pop up. Someone did Photoshop on her and how good she would look if she actually had some pounds on her. That chick needs to eat more food.
He kind of was mostly attacking me kind of like for my appearance. I know sometimes it's like a big topic that people will kind of like judge me about. Since I was pretty young, I've always been like pretty naturally skinny. But sometimes I think like I wasn't really properly taking care of myself. It Seems like he probably is doing a lot of this just to get like views, and I'm sure he's making a lot of money.
Eugenia Cooney. I've lost count of how many times you guys have asked me to talk about her. Eugenia, when you Google anorexic, you find people that look just like you. This photo of Eugenia Cooney is uploaded about 13 hours ago. As you can see here, her arm looks horrifying, and on the other side, oh my god, what the hell. I'm being blunt, which I most always am. Her hand and arm are in a position that reminds me of how a body would look if you dug it up months after the person was deceased. And those 100% absolutely look like the legs of someone who just got out of a concentration camp who had been nearly starved to death.
Drama constantly feeds the algorithm. Greg then realized that he can milk YouTube's algorithm if he intentionally kept creating videos about Eugenia Cooney. The algorithm is the one in charge of what videos are done or what videos get seen. The goal was to make money.
I know what you're thinking. I should go to hell for making that video about Eugenia. But I'm not worried about that because I'm Satan.
Anyone can make money on YouTube, but that doesn't mean everybody will make a lot of money on YouTube. When you hit a certain amount of views, YouTube invites you to their partnership program where you can get your channel monetized, so then you get paid out by sharing advertiser money with Google.
Eugenia, let's be honest, we're great together. This video I made about you got 1.9 million views. This video I made about you only a month ago got 1 million views. Another million. Another million.
The 2.5 million!
My god. Should I call you Eugenia Cooney or Attention Whore's Wet Dream?
The thing that he's doing, he's like, I don't understand how it's not hateful.
His justification was that he was trying to help Eugenia Cooney. And Eugenia Cooney completely disagrees. Eventually, there's a live stream video from Eugenia Cooney saying, these fans send me death threats.
It can be pretty scary, just like not really knowing like what people's intentions are. It can definitely be really stressful, just kind of experiencing that, like every time you open your phone or your computer.
He would encourage the audience to go harass anyone, really. Anyone he really wanted to.
It's really easy to dehumanize a person online because you're not seeing them face to face.
Go to her channel right now, dislike her videos, unsubscribe, and tell other people to unsubscribe. But the reality is a lot of you watching this can't help your addiction. She's addicted to the attention she gets from starving herself to death. For everyone who's gullible enough / foolish enough to continue to give her the attention that she's clearly starving herself for, well, that's completely on each and every one of you.
People who are like hate watching Onision at this point are still watching him. And every time he would receive backlash about it, he would stop for a couple months or a couple weeks, then he'd get back to doing it again. And then he would be like, it's just the web, it's not serious.
I think she's an absolutely fantastic human for all she's had to go through and how she came through on top after enduring so much. And here's my cringy heart.
When I started on YouTube, I never thought that I would receive like as much hate. And obviously eating disorders are really serious things, and I would try to like put my side out there. Like no one really wants to listen. A lot of this was a big part of why I stepped away from the internet and did go and get help. And I'm definitely doing a lot better now.
I don't have to ever make a video about her ever again, because there's no reason other than to maybe say she's beautiful.
The reason he stopped wasn't because Eugenia Cooney asked him to. It's because YouTube changed the rules on how monetization works on the platform. YouTube was demonetizing them. So he had no incentive to keep making the Eugenia Cooney videos, because if he's not making money, what's the point?
Okay, so again, I know there's lots of debate and there's lots going on with Eugenia Cooney. In fact, I think right now Jaclyn Glenn has a live stream whether or not we should petition to get Eugenia off the platform. I have very much disagreed with that, very much, because I think she still has a right to be here. I can see the concern. I understand why people have concern, but I think it sets a very dangerous precedent for where we think the mob should be able to control other people's actions, or more so that they get a say in what's healthy and unhealthy when the mob many times doesn't know, because our own governments don't even give us real health information on different things happening within the world. We get misdiagnosed constantly. I just think it sets a really bad precedence. The other thing is, I think Eugenia is an incredibly kind girl. She's actually left comments on my videos. We have live streamed a couple of times. She has been so nice. I think she tweeted me a few times. She's been so nice and so supportive. And when I saw, Onision doing these videos, I would stick up for her. A lot of people thought I made too many videos on Onision, but I would just respond every time he bullied somebody, and I would respond with why he's incorrect. And it got really popular, which, you know, I'm grateful for. It's like, it's good, but it also, you know, that kind of puts a target on your back as well. But in seeing this, I was really, really happy she was there, and I was happy she was sticking up for herself, because I think, I'm not generalizing everybody, but I think many people with eating disorders, a lot of that perfectionist mindset can also come with people pleasing. I have videos on this. Also, I have a whole series on Eugenia. Go check it out if you want to see it. I'll have links in the description. I'll have some links in the cards so you can go see that as well. And I have a playlist. You can check all of that out. But I really like Eugenia. And I think Eugenia is really well intended. The problem with Eugenia that everybody's talking about, and I've been talking about, is she said forever there was nothing wrong with her. I defended her right to privacy with her health, because I know what it's like to have your body look massively different in front of people and everybody come at you and be mean and bully. A little bit different. People are concerned with Eugenia, even though we have bullies like Onision. We're like, in my case, I got huge in front of people, and people just said because I would say, I'm sick, something's wrong, and I don't know what it is, and nobody's listening to me, I can't get help. And they would say, no, you're just a fat A, and you're eating too much, and you're just a lazy person. And people were really, really mean about it. So I had so much compassion going, you know what? Like, if I've gotten this much crap for talking about being sick and trying to raise awareness and showcase my journey going forward, when it comes to Eugenia, maybe she has a hidden health issue that makes her this thin. We don't know. I would debate people back and forth in the comment sections, and people would go, she's clearly has anorexia. And I was like, you can't say that. You don't know. But then in the Shane Dawson documentary, she came out and admitted it. As well, her Jaclyn Glenn, who was her friend at the time, forced her into help with a 5150, and that's how she got help. So the problem with Eugenia is, even though I think Eugenia is incredibly kind and I think she's well-intended, we catch her lying about things, and that's where people are concerned. And the lies come into place if you're kind of new to this. And like, for instance, in the documentary, she's like, well, that's one of the reasons I took time away and I got help. Really, she was forced to do it. Jaclyn Glenn and friends forced her to do it. She didn't want to do it. She wasn't ready to do it. So she got help, did a big comeback with Shane, and then got massively thinner. Now that she has admitted she has an eating disorder, people are now more concerned than ever, because she's thinner than ever. And we're not just concerned for her, which that is a concern. We're all concerned for her. We're concerned for her young audience. And that's a huge, huge problem, because she's a fashion influencer. She models clothing and she gets sponsors and tries clothes on. So people are looking at her body as an ideal. Young people, a generation of young people that our generation who went through, the eating disorder mindset that was forced upon us. And also it was on our parents and grandparents and probably before them, right? But our generation, it was real tough about all women should be this thin. And if you're not, you're fat, you're disgusting, you have no worth in society. And our generation has been really making steps and strides to change that. So when we see this, we get very, very concerned. And the problem is, she keeps saying, now I don't have a problem. Oh, it's not a problem anymore. It's not a problem. But she's clearly worse. And my thing is, Eugenia, if you have a hidden health issue, you need to come out and say it. If you're going to be modeling your body, it'd be one thing if you said, I have some issue where I'm too thin, I'm sick, something's wrong with me, but I can, even if I'm sick, I'm going to feel okay and empowered and beautiful in myself. That's one way to go about this. In fact, and I feel so bad I don't remember her name, but there's this woman that people have coined the ugliest woman in the world. I'm not saying she is. It's a horrible way to look at somebody, but this is how people have talked about her, and she is crazy thin. Almost, she's like Eugenia thin, but it's because she can't help it. And she does, conferences and TED Talks and talks about how she was born with these issues, but she's going to continue to love herself and see worth and value in herself and try to make this empowering for other people. And I think that's beautiful. And if that was the case, I don't think so many people would take such issue with what's happening with Eugenia. The problem with Eugenia is she's clearly getting worse. Whether it's an eating disorder or there's some physical hidden issue she doesn't want to talk about. I'm assuming it's just eating disorder at this point, because that's what we know. I'm going off of what she says. And it can influence her young audience in a very, very negative way, in a very dangerous way. That's the concern, and that's why people want to kick her offline. So I feel like the difference between people like me, people like Sloan, Jaclyn Glenn has spoken up. I know there are other channels, Pastel Bell. While I don't always agree with her, like wanting to kick Eugenia off, I like a lot of her content and understand a lot of her points. And I think she's got a good voice, right? So there's no criticism to any of these people. I like these people. And I think that their voice has contributed in a positive way to this discussion. But there's a difference between us being concerned for her health and her audience, and saying how much we actually like her as a person and we want her to get better, versus Onision, who takes the time to do skits to make fun of her eating issues. Just make fun of her and mock her. And then he'll do videos reviewing her and talking about how horrible and ugly she is, and she'd look so much better and so much hotter with meat on her bones. Like, I understand the concept. If you look healthy, it's going to be more attractive. I get that. But Onision really takes a lot of license with women and children to be able to say who's pretty, who's healthy, who's fat. And of course, he has no degrees, he has no credentials. He's never, as far as I'm aware, except for rosacea, never even dealt with an actual major illness to know what he's talking about. It's so funny. He would give weight loss advice to women and he would say, go vegetarian. And I'm like, you realize there's a lot of vegetarian people who are obese and overweight, right? Because if you don't do vegetarianism right, you're just sitting there eating carbs and sugar. Like, you could technically say sugar is a vegetarian or vegan food. So should you just eat all of that? I was just laughing going, oh, you ignorant man. So I think there's a very big difference between people raising concern for her and her audience and her saying nothing's wrong with me, but we see there's something wrong with her and seeing the cracks of the lies she's saying, versus Onision just making money straight up bullying her. Just straight up bullying her. And I don't think it's right. And I'm glad that his videos on her have gotten demonetized. I just saw he posted another one 2 months ago. And look, I'm not here to like complain about how many videos he's done. I'm somebody where if I get onto a subject, I'll make a ton of videos, right? That's not my concern necessarily. I make sure if I do it, there's, in my opinion, a legitimate reason, a legitimate concern there. And I'm also in the place I try, I used to be a lot angrier when I was on here. I try to be calmer and I try to be more balanced with how I give perspective on things. So I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily, when you see concern to ring an alarm, especially if something, not good is going on. But he's not doing it because he's concerned. He's doing it because he's bullying. And many times Onision will paint himself, and this is like part of the narcissistic sociopathic thing he does. He will kind of paint himself in this light as he is the white knight of the situation, right? He very much will come at things and act that way. However, in the background, his intentions are just horrible. And he doesn't care. And that's the worst part about Onision. He'll just be a complete piece of crap and he just won't care, but he'll act like he cares, because for these people that have these, narcissistic, sociopathic traits, I'm not diagnosing him. I have no, that's not something I can actually do. But I'm saying, to me, he mimics a lot of these traits from what he puts out there, what we've seen about his personal life, his real life. And their number one thing is to protect their image. And he knows if he makes fun of her, mocks her, puts a bunch of jokes over it, he'll get views. I wouldn't even mind so much if he were joking, but some of it's just mean. It's really, like, where's the punchline? It's really mean-spirited, and then I want her to get help. And then he's like, well, I don't have to make any more videos about her except to say she's beautiful. I'm sorry. It makes me mad because it's like, first of all, like, why do you think you have any entitlement to talk about anybody's body? That's one thing that makes me mad. Guys, if you look into the history of Onision, he's done so many videos. He used to do these videos all the time where he would say, go to my forum and send in a photo of your body and I'll tell you if you're hot or not or if you're fat or not. And he would plaster these photos, some of them children, age 12, in bras, online in his videos, monetize these videos. This is what I talked about in my debate with him and Kai, right? This is just one of the many things. And then sit there and say whether or not they're fat, whether or not they're hot, whether or not he would want to blah, blah, blah with them. And it was disgusting. And he didn't have any consent to do this with any of these minors. Legally, he's not really allowed to do that. He's not allowed to make money with those videos legally and not have some sort of consent from the parents if they're minors. Didn't know if they're minors or not. So he basically was just exploiting and sometimes humiliating or sexualizing children and minors on his YouTube channel consistently. This is something that they haven't yet really gotten to the documentary to talk about yet. Disgusting. And he could be sued for that. He could be sued by the parents because that's exploitation. So my whole thing is to say Eugenia doesn't really stick up for herself much. There's a lot of, I'm sorry you feel that way. There's a lot of niceness. I don't think she's necessarily disingenuous. I think she's trying to people please. I think she's trying to be nice to everybody. And the problem though is when you are in that place, it ends up not being genuine. Sometimes that place, many times people become people pleasers because they're in trauma and they're trying to make sure everybody else is okay so I don't get hurt. I've been there. That's something that I work on in myself from the way I grew up and the relationships that I've had. I totally understand. That's the heartbreaking thing, is she is not ill-intended. And part of breaking out of that is starting to stand up for yourself. And the other day I posted a video where she actually got kind of snarky with somebody. And now the person I don't know, was talking about the eating issues and she needs to recognize them and she's hurting her audience. And Eugenia got kind of snarky. And granted, this person is trying to help. I was actually happy to see Eugenia kind of get a little irritated because I think she needs to find her voice to be able to stand up for herself. I think that's very important with what she's going through, to get that internal empowerment, because once that hits her, and for everybody, guys, this is the other thing, it's going to hit everybody differently. When she was forced into the eating disorder facility the first time on a 51-50, she might have gone through the program, but it didn't yet hit her. She's got to get to that place where it hits. It's different for everybody. It's a different threshold. It could be a huge thing that happens. It could be a minor thing that happens. Out of all the huge things that have happened, and she just goes, I'm done. I need help. I'm really praying she gets to that place. Now, if it's an eating issue or if she is physically sick, whatever it is, I just want her to get the help that she needs, and I want her to get to that breaking point. And I'm praying the people around her, and this is where I'm skeptical, check out my videos, that the people around her will support her in helping her get the help that she needs. And I don't think her getting help is going to be helped by people like Onision bullying her. And I'm so happy to see her stand up for herself and find her voice. Good job, girl. I am. I'm happy for her and I'm proud of her. I hope that doesn't sound demeaning, because it's not. You know, it's one of those things where I see that and I feel so happy on her behalf that she's taking positive steps forward. I think for her, this is a positive step forward, and I'm really happy to see that. Okay, guys, if you like this video, please help me out and give me a big thumbs up, like the video. If you're new, subscribe and then hit the notification bell if you haven't yet so you know when I upload. Leave me a comment. Do you agree with my assessment? Tell me what you think. Did you see this and you saw what I put up here? Let me know. And guys, please share this content with people you think might jive with it. People maybe who are struggling with eating issues, people who've been in bad relationships, people who've been bullied by people, people who you might think would like this content. Okay, guys, I'm just going to go get other videos ready. I have more to say on this topic this week. So until I see you next time, guys, I'm wishing everybody lots of love, lots of blessings, and I'm giving you guys all the hugs, mwah, and as many kisses as I can. Okay, bye, guys.